There are moments in sports that stop time, not because of a goal, not because of a trophy, but because something happens that feels so wrong, so impossible, so deeply unfair, that an entire nation holds its breath and asks the same question at the same time. August 9th, 1988. That was the day Canada lost its soul on a Tuesday afternoon, and the man responsible was not an enemy. He was not a rival. He was the owner of the team that Wayne Gretzky had carried on his back for 9 years. This is the story of the trade that was never supposed to happen, the deal that broke a country, and the number that was retired not just by one team, but by the entire NHL, because no one should ever have to follow Wayne Gretzky. To understand why August 9th, 1988 destroyed Canadian hearts, you first have to understand what Wayne Gretzky was to Edmonton and to Canada. He was not simply a hockey player. That description is so insufficient it is almost offensive. Wayne Gretzky arrived at the Edmonton Oilers in 1978 as a 17-year-old kid who was too thin, too slow by conventional scouting standards, and too young to be taken seriously. NHL analysts looked at him and saw a liability. They were wrong in a way that has never been matched in professional sports. By the time the 1980s arrived, Gretzky had not just become the best player in hockey. He had become something that transcended the sport entirely. He was scoring at rates that statisticians still cannot fully explain. In the 1981-82 season alone, he scored 92 goals. Not in his career, in one season, a record that has never been touched, a record that most analysts believe will never be touched. He won 4 Stanley Cups with Edmonton. In 1985, he recorded 135 assists in a single season, meaning his assists alone, without counting a single goal, would have made him the highest scoring player in the entire league that year. Canada did not just love Gretzky. Canada built its sporting identity around him. He was on magazine covers, cereal boxes, television commercials. Children across the country wore his number 99, not because they wanted to play hockey, but because wearing 99 meant something. It meant excellence. It meant belonging to something great. Edmonton was not a glamorous city. It was not Toronto or Montreal. It was a cold, working-class, industrial city in northern Alberta. And Wayne Gretzky made it the center of the hockey world. He made Edmonton matter. He made Canada matter on ice in a way that felt permanent and untouchable. And then Peter Pocklington made a phone call. Peter Pocklington owned the Edmonton Oilers, and by 1988, Peter Pocklington had a serious problem. He had debts, large debts, business ventures that had collapsed, financial obligations that were pressing from every direction, and he had one asset that was worth more than everything else he owned combined: Wayne Gretzky. The Los Angeles Kings wanted him. Their owner, Bruce McNall, was willing to pay. The number that has been reported across multiple documented sources was approximately $15 million in cash, plus players and draft picks. For an NHL owner drowning in debt in 1988, that was an offer that changed everything. Pocklington accepted. What happened next was handled in a way that many people, including Gretzky himself, have described as cold, calculated, and deeply disrespectful to a man who had given Edmonton everything he had. Gretzky was informed. He was not consulted. There is a difference. The decision had already been made before the conversation happened. The trade was structured. The money was agreed upon. And then Wayne Gretzky was told that he was being sent to Los Angeles. On August 9th, 1988, a press conference was held in Edmonton. Gretzky stood at the microphone, and in front of cameras that were broadcasting across an entire nation, Wayne Gretzky, the most composed, professional, disciplined athlete Canada had ever produced, broke down and wept. He could not finish his sentences. He stopped. He composed himself. He tried again. He stopped again. The tears were not performed. They were not manufactured for cameras. They were the tears of a man who loved a city, loved a team, loved a country, and was being taken away from all of it against every instinct he had. Canada watched and wept with him. The reaction across Canada was not disappointment. It was grief. Genuine, national, collective grief. Members of Canadian Parliament stood up and formally condemned the trade on the floor of the House of Commons. Politicians debated whether the government should intervene to block the deal. Alberta's premier at the time received calls from citizens demanding action. Newspapers ran headlines that treated the trade not as a sports story, but as a national tragedy. Pocklington received death threats. His effigy was burned in the streets of Edmonton. Fans who had cheered for his team for years turned on him completely and permanently. To this day, Peter Pocklington remains one of the most despised figures in Canadian sports history. Not because he failed, but because many Canadians believe he sold something that was never truly his to sell. Because Gretzky did not just belong to the Edmonton Oilers, he belonged to Canada. Wayne Gretzky went to Los Angeles and did what Wayne Gretzky always did. He performed at a level that defied logic. He helped transform the Kings from a struggling franchise into a genuine contender. He grew the sport of hockey in California and across the American South in ways that the NHL had never managed before. Cities that had never cared about ice hockey began filling arenas because of him. But it was never the same. He never won another Stanley Cup. He came close. The Kings reached the 1993 Stanley Cup Finals. But the championship that would have completed the story never came. And when Gretzky retired in 1999, the NHL did something it had never done before and has never done since. They retired number 99 across the entire league. Not just in Edmonton, not just in Los Angeles. Across every franchise, every team, every arena in professional hockey. No player in any NHL team will ever wear number 99 again, because some numbers do not belong to a team. Some numbers belong to a sport, and some athletes do not belong to a city. They belong to a nation. Wayne Gretzky was not traded on August 9, 1988. He was taken, and Canada has never fully forgiven the man who made that call.